Welcome to our channel. Today we're discussing a recent statement made by Dele Momodu, a prominent Nigerian politician. Dele Momodu has issued a stern warning to Wike, stating that he will be used and dumped by his new allies. What does this mean for Wike's political future and Nigerian politics as a whole?
I interviewed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's one of my toughest and most volatile interviews ever. You know, Kanu is a very, very brilliant guy, extremely intelligent. You can't bully him, you can't put him down. So I did it on Instagram. It was a live Instagram live. In fact, it was so hot and everybody was watching, including Wike, apparently. I was doing it from my house in Ghana. And Kanu was so excited that the following day he tweeted that he was honored to have been interviewed by the Larry King of Africa, Dele Momodu. That's what he wrote, you know. But during my interview, he attacked Wike. I don't know what led to that. But I think Wike was saying he's not an Igbo man. And he was saying, how can somebody who bears Enye from Wike say he's not an Igbo man and all that? So, but Wike insisted, and he still insists today that he's not an Igbo man. That is, I think it's an Ikwere man from Rivers. Anyway, during the interview, Nnamdi Kanu said, anybody who can help me find Wike's head, he will pay the person 50 million. Yes, live. I'm telling you. So then, after the interview, Wike reached out to me that he heard what Nnamdi Kanu said about him, that whosoever can find him Nnamdi Kanu's head, he will pay the person 100 million. Aura for aura.
Double the price.
You know? So, Wike now insisted that I must do his own interview. I said, okay, no problem. So we fixed the following day. But when the following day came, I think he said he was busy, but that we should fix. I think I did Kanu on Wednesday. I was to do his own on Thursday. And I said if I can do his own now on Friday. So by which time I was now in Nigeria. So I did his own from my house in Nigeria. It was hot. You know Wike now. He blasted and blasted anybody, anything on his path. He blasted, you know. So, but I could see that he was enjoying it. You know, when Wike likes something, he's ready to do anything to keep it. But his biggest problem is anger management. He can't manage his anger. He cannot take no. Everything must be according to his wish and his will. So he now begged me that I should come to Port Harcourt the following day, that I should come and see his developmental projects. And me, I love when a leader is doing projects for his people, because that's what we fought for. That's the whole essence of democracy. It doesn't matter which party you belong. And interestingly, I was going to join PDP anyway, because I had plans to run for election in 2023, presidential election. I had done one in 2011 on the platform of National Conscience Party. I started from Labour, but Labour threw me under the bus when they said they were not interested in presidency. So I had to leave to go to Ganifa Emi's NCP. So anyway, on Saturday morning, I and my team, we flew to Port Harcourt. Wike was really ready for me. He sent his own personal backup vehicle as governor, official, to meet me at bulletproof, with a detachment of security at the airport waiting for me. And I went, and he enjoyed. He was personally taking me around projects to see. We became the best of friends. We shared food. We shared alcohol. If I taught me how to drink things I never drank in my life, I never tasted gin and tonic in my life, he taught me. He's a man, when he comes, he's a connoisseur of the choicest whiskeys, cognacs, champagne.
That's an alcoholic DJ. He mixed.
You know?
He mixed.
We became friends. I love his work ethic. Very, very hardworking man. Me, I say the good things I know about people, and I say the little bad I don't know. If he had managed that relationship well, he was already looking different, dressing better, talking better. You know, when you move with people, especially people like myself who are into branding and rebranding, there is no way it will not rub off on you. So we liked each other, and he took good care of me. But I'm one person. If you like, give me $1 billion. If you don't respect me, or when you stop respecting me, I will never agree. I'll walk away. Yes, people think I'm stupid. That how can you know all these big people and you still be complaining that you are broke? Doesn't matter. I manage what I have, because I believe it's not how much you have, it's how you manage what you have. You can have $1 billion and still be a useless person. Yes, I will walk into the gathering of billionaires and I will still shine. It's the glory of God. It's not about how much I have. So at any rate, that was how our relationship started. Then it started having problems in Oyigbo, which some people call Obi-Igbo, local government. There was mayhem, there was arson, they burnt down houses, burnt down security posts, and he had to declare a curfew. So after some time, when the thing was calming down a bit, people were still saying on social media that it's not true, that he had killed too many people and he's still killing. He used me to go there. With all the security and everything. I went there and I was reporting live from the streets of Oyigbo and showing people how peace was returning to Oyigbo. Now, let me fast forward. Trouble started the moment I declared interest in presidential election. He had not told anybody he wanted to contest, but I was suspecting, because of the branding and how much he was spending on journalists. He had retainerships with NTA, with the Channels TV, with AIT, and later with Ovation. And those things are not cheap. But he was getting good results. Everybody was talking about Mr. Project, Mr. Project, Mr. Project, So I now tried to meet him to tell him that I'll be contesting and I will need the support. And before then, I had also traveled around Nigeria. I'd met emirs, met sultan, met everybody. And the general impression I was getting was that if Wike wants to run, he will have problems, especially in the north. The northerners would support anybody but not Wike. So I tried to tell him that this is what I had picked up, so you can then know how to handle it, and that in case you are not able to run, will you kindly support me? What's the crime in that? I already considered you my friend and everything. And he told people, he stopped picking my call. He told people which Dele, even live on television, on channels. They said, so what about new entrants like Dele Momodu? They say, no, get serious. Yes. Which Dele Momodu? I said, me? Wike is now saying me, who is there? Wike that told me that he used to watch myself and his boss, Amechi, when we are flying helicopters on top, that he would be down, they would look at us and say, hey, see this people, they are enjoying, that kind of thing. So suddenly, because you've now made money, power, and whatever, you think you can insult me. And in Yoruba culture, there is a saying that if you cannot go forward, you can at least go back to where you are coming from. So that was how things broke down before us. I wrote him letter, I did everything, he ignored it completely. Our mutual friends tried. In fact, I wrote a letter which I copied Professor Michael Zekume, SAN. I copied him that letter. I also copied our mutual friend, former Minister of Justice and Attorney General, Mohammed Bello Aduke. And they both said, oh, it was good that it's only a friend who can advise a friend. And I told him, and I copiously, I broke it down. what will happen if he decides to run? That he will meet with stiff resistance. And that's what happened. The day of our primary, he was so sure nobody can beat him. And wallahi, nobody could have beaten him if not for the master stroke that the North played against him when Governor Tambua suddenly pulled out, sacrificed his own. And that is the thing about politics. It's give and take. He never recovered from it. He became inconsolable. To quote a former president, I don't want to mention the name. He said, Wike, nobody can console him. He's inconsolable. Because he was so sure, he spent so much money. And he looked at, but he was just too tempestuous, which was what I was working on to make sure that if you want to be president of a nation, you must learn how to calm down. You must learn how to look cosmopolitan. You must learn how to, carry everybody along. But I guess he wanted to use the style Tinubu used eventually because Tinubu had to bully his way through, just like Donald Trump bullied his way through in America. It works for some people. But Wike's own, he did not know how to balance it. And I'd warned him about it. So, on his problem with Fubara, God is my witness, I don't know Fubara well. And I have never spoken to Fubara one-on-one till today. I was dealing with his boss then. I used to see him around, he would bring files, but we have never, till today, people thought Fubara is the one funding me to attack Wike. No, I've never, no. I'm saying it publicly now. Anybody who knows Fubara should go and ask him. The only Fubara I know was a man I met at the airport one day. I was sitting in the lounge in Port Harcourt. I went for a funeral. And the man walked up to me and said, "Oh, I'm the governor's brother." And I said, "Oh, how are you? How is he doing?" He said, "He's doing fine." That's the only Fubara I know. I respect myself. I defend the underdog. I will defend Fubara anywhere, anytime. Not for a penny. Not for a kobo. So, I believe Wike should have taken his own advice. You remember a viral video where he was saying anybody who does not respect a governor, who does not do something, then in fact, when Dave Umahi, the then governor of Ebonyi State, decamped to APC, Wike blasted him so much. He said, "How can you leave headache or malaria to cancer?" That in fact, he paid to abuse him on television. I handled that press. Yes, I'm saying it publicly. He paid television houses to come and interview him so that he will blast Dave. Are they not in the same party today, whether he joins or not? And when people say, "Oh, he's destroying PDP," oh yes, but a lot of, I'm sure there are stories of insects who would think they are killing a tree or something and they end up killing themselves. Yes, folk tales are replete with stories. I studied Yoruba. It's a matter of time. I have no doubt they will use him and dump him. He believes that nobody he said, "I'm not afraid of anybody on earth." And the day he said that, I said, even God does not talk like this. So don't worry. And he's a man, God has overblessed him, beautiful family, beautiful wife, brilliant wife, good-looking children. I don't know much about them, but I see them around. They are calm and everything. But every day they see you on television, you are fighting one imaginary enemy or the other. Why? I've tried to advise him publicly. I've written public letters, open letters to him. He doesn't listen to anybody. But I know one day he will remember everything I told him. But it just might be too late. He doesn't know the people he's dealing with. I've been with them before during and after June 12th. I've been with them. I know that if I'm not there today, you should know that it's because I want my freedom, not because I hate Tinubu or Tinubu hates me. If Tinubu and I see tomorrow, we will still hug. The man, Tinubu is a smart man. He knows the people who are not doing things because of money. He knows Dele is not opposed to him because of money. It's because I'm defending my own party. I'm in PDP. I'm not one of those people somebody wrote yesterday. Now that, who joined them now? Okay, the person didn't join them. They said Jandor. So Jide gave a press conference 2 days ago that he has dumped PDP. But he hasn't said where he's going. And they say, oh, Dele too will soon do it. So I'm a part-time politician. So I don't care what anybody says. I'm not interested. If I wanted to be with Tinubu, but Atiku gave me an assignment. And there are reasons I'm fascinated by Atiku. People don't know. He's old, he's this. It doesn't matter. It's not about your age. I've read stories. I've read stories about Joe Biden. I've read about Donald Trump. They are very old people. I've read about Abraham Lincoln, how many times he tried. And I've witnessed Buhari. It has nothing to do with age. It's your ability to win election. Everybody is attacking Atiku because he's the only one today who is not afraid of Tinubu. Every other person, quote me, they can't face him.
Including Mr. Peter Obi.
I said everybody.
Everybody.
Except him cannot face Tinubu head on. No.
Okay, so you mentioned Joe Biden, Donald Trump. You have said it's not a function of age.
Yeah.
And you said you also witnessed Buhari. But Twice. Yes. But if we look at politics in the United States of America and Nigeria, there's a contrast. And if in the way we play our politics, if indeed we want to find solutions to the problems, we need somebody who is hands-on and who can, take on these challenges and resolve them. Do you think that of all let me lump everyone together, of all the candidates in 2023, including yourself as an aspirant, do you think that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, this is leaving your party now? I know you are a member of the PDP, but leaving your party now, do you think that, there were no better alternatives compared to what we have today or the major candidates we had at the time? For example, somebody like Omoyele Sowore.
You see, life is not about comparing the incomparables. Life is about experience, about exposure. And when I talk about experience, until you've tried someone, you will never know their capability. But you can look at their past record. Of all of them, the only person who had been a vice president and the most successful vice president of them is Atiku. Don't forget that Atiku is so accommodating, so cosmopolitan, so visionary that in 2019, Peter Obi was his running mate. Why are people suddenly forgetting that the man had used Peter Obi? Everybody is saying we want Igbo president, we want Igbo president. If Atiku had been president and Peter Obi became vice president, it would be just one leg to being president. He had used Senator Ben Obi at a time. He had used, I remember his name, the former Senate president who died.
Chuba
Okadibo. Those are men of timber and caliber. You understand? But of all of them, trust me, he managed the economy during the Obasanjo, and that's still the best. That was when they wrote off our debt and everything. You can say whatever, nobody is perfect, no leader in this world is perfect, but Atiku has been a performer. Then the first platform for me is you must be a Democrat. How democratic has he been? I'll start from 1993. He contested against MK Abiola. We're all talking June 20. We always forget to acknowledge Atiku's contribution. But for Atiku stepping down, maybe Abiola would not have even gotten that ticket.
The Just convention.
In Jos, I was there. I was live. I was a young man. 33 years old or less. And they had to get his mentor, Major General Shehu Musa Yaradua, to get him to step down for Abiola. And he went away. No quarrel, unlike what Wike is doing now, throwing tantrums and giving all kinds of reasons why he cannot agree. You can't be angry forever, no matter who you are. You must have that spirit that, okay, on this occasion I didn't get it. I told you, I ran away from Nigeria crying, but I came back with ovation.
Standing one at that.
Literally.
You don't know why God does certain things in your life. If you get angry, you throw a stone at a goat in the marketplace, you go and hit your relative. So, for me, Atiku, he did that one. That was my first time of noticing him as a politician. Then he went away, oh, the crisis came, everything came. His mentor died, he survived. All he wanted was to be the governor of Adamawa and all that, the old Gongola. He had even become the governor. Then suddenly they called him to come and be vice president of Obasanjo. And I looked at his cabinet. He had a star-studded cabinet, the youngest guys. He picked you not because you are a northerner, not because I can give you names. Me, I deal with facts. We had Onuka Badinoyojo, who was from Kogi State. He was my friend. He was one of the best writers ever at the Guardian newspaper. He was the man who invited me to Lagos to become a journalist. He died, unfortunately, a few years back. We had Chris Mama, who was an editor at the Punch newspaper. He's not from the north. He had Professor Adeolu Akande, an Oyo State man.
So that ability to gather people from different parts.
He gathered the best of the best. In fact, he got to a stage when he started fighting with his boss that they started sacking all those people. They were just damn too good.
But looking at Nigeria today, do you think that quality alone is enough?
Wait, Nashebi, you asked me.
All right, sir.
And I'm explaining it.
Thank you, sir.
You see, let me tell you, that's how you know a leader. He was an administrator. He produced El-Rufai. El-Rufai became one of the best guys to sort out Abuja FCT. That was one of his guys. They were all around him. And as the manager of the economy, you could see the caliber of people he worked with. Another thing that fascinates me about a Democrat, I hate thuggery. Politicians in Nigeria believe so much in violence. I hate violence vehemently. You will never find a thug in front of Atiku's house or office. I was the director of strategic communications for Atiku this last election. And I worked day and night from his office in APCO, the Atiku Presidential Campaign Office. It's called APCO in Abuja. You would think you are in Cambridge or Harvard. The quality, you would not believe that is a presidential campaign. Till today, he's still maintaining it. He left office in 2007. I don't know of anybody today who has Atiku's quality of life. The number of businesses, the number of employees, is one of the biggest employers of labor in Nigeria. They hate him, they did everything about him, but he's still surviving. He flies his private jet. When he's tired, he goes to his Dubai. People abuse him, he goes to Dubai. What do they want him to be a nuisance and be disturbing governor of Adamawa and begging for money. Politicians live like parasites. You can't call Atiku a parasite. He doesn't control a single state in Nigeria. These are facts. You can fact check it. I'll continue to say it's not perfect. I'm not perfect. You are not perfect. But I wish we have politicians who have their means of income. He is a consummate businessman. He invested heavily in education. Education is my passion. The American university, from primary to secondary to university, and he invested heavily in agriculture, food production. You find him there. Intel was one of the best things to happen to Nigeria. They made sure they pulled him out and put their friends there now. He moved on. They said he must divest and sell off his shares. That is one politician that you could point to and say, this is how he earns a living. If we don't appreciate that, then we will never appreciate anybody. When I was working for him, people were going to him to say, I'm Tinubu's boy. And everybody knows that, yeah, it's true, I'm Tinubu's guy. I've never denied it. If someone told Tinubu, if I was working for Tinubu and someone say I'm Atiku's guy, they will fire me. Of course. Atiku never blinked an eye. He said if Dele decides to betray me, it will just be one of them. It won't be new. That it won't be the first time I've been betrayed. Once he gave me that job and I accepted it, no Jupiter was going to stop it. People were calling my wife, abusing me. You're an ingrate. Tinubu helped you before. I said, yes, I know. Me too, I've done a lot of things for Tinubu before, so it's good. I'm not fighting him. I respect him. I would say I love his person. He's a very kind-hearted, generous person. But politics, I cannot stand anything that suggests that your word is law and nobody else can challenge it. Even Baba Ulawa, people argued with him.
Good. It's okay that you have your principles and you
look at this issue of this Lagos State House of Assembly. See how it turned out.
They say it is the sophistication of Lagos politics.
It is good. I like the semantics. You know, in semantics, you can somersault and...
We're taking it home. But still talking about the legislative arm of government, let's talk about Senators Akpabio, Senate President Akpabio and Senator Natasha. You know, recently, she publicly claimed, you know, that the Senate President sexually harassed her. And she says that she has evidence to back this. There are certain people who have responded to this whole situation. For example, we have seen Senator Ireti Kingibe, we have seen Senator Itagiwa, and some people have said that, you know, if you look at Nigeria today and the condition that women have to deal with in our politics, you know, this is a very, very important point in our history, and something must be done to give women that power and that sense of confidence in Nigeria's political setup. I would like your thoughts on this. You know, when you first heard this, what was your initial reaction before you now look at, you know, the situation and how some people have responded to the issue?
I watched it live on Arise News. I was shocked. I was stunned. I was flabbergasted. And my initial reaction was, oh, wow, where are we going this route again? The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, is a man that I admire in some ways. And my admiration, I told you, I love projects, stemmed from when he was governor of Akwa Ibom. And I saw the number of good projects that he did. And he's a very friendly man. I remember I went for the wedding of one of his guys, the former president of what do you call them? University something.
SUG or alumni?
No. The university, the national one, NANS.
Okay.
NANS. So, Imeni Bong, that's the name of the guy. So his wedding, I was the chairman of the day. And Governor Akpabio was the father of the day. So we both met there. I like to say the good things I know about people. And he invited me over in the evening to dinner in the State House. And I went there and everything. And I saw a very, very jovial, very lively, very friendly human being. And everywhere we met, we have mutual friends at home and abroad. There are presidents in Africa who are our mutual friends, and we always talk about him. Like someone said, I can't remember who said it now, that he jokes a lot. I read that one of the interviews recently. The person was saying, it's Senator Abiodun Olujimi, a woman too who was in the Senate, who said it, that sometimes he carries his joke too far. So, and the lady was trying to suggest that maybe even when he told the woman, when will you comment, that maybe he was joking. And I think it's a poor joke if it was a joke. There are things that could become very sensitive. So, but when I listened to Senator Agboti, the place I disagreed with her, everything else was okay, was when she said, I didn't know whether to tell my husband or not. I believe she should have told her husband immediately that this man, your friend, can you warn him? And I'm sure the husband would probably have said, don't mind him, he's joking. And then so at least you would have killed it at that stage. And if they ever go to court, which I hear they are in court, so I don't want to go, so I don't want us to go and run foul of the law. So, but I believe it should have. So the court will decide who they believe, especially if she says she has evidence. Yeah. But one thing I will never agree is the way people are trying to bully her into submission. I would never agree to that. Let her go to court. If she fails, she fails. If she wins, she wins. But if the elders can also intervene and bring them into a room, including her husband, the wife, Akpabio's wife, Akpabio himself, we have a lot of mutual friends they respect, and even the presidency, at least they intervened. I would like to speak about Fubara again, the intervention of Tinubu on Fubara. If they can intervene, let them bring them into a room and let them all iron out their differences, apologize to each other and one another, and move on from there. Look, kids are watching. Kids are watching. It's unfortunate that every time we talk, we're talking about serious. The Senate is the highest, platform in a country. Apart from the presidency, the executive, you go to the National Assembly. So, and kids are watching them, and not they are hearing that somebody wants to sleep with me, somebody wants to. I think we should rise above that. And so let them settle it if they can. If they can't settle it, well, they can wash their dirty linen in public. That would be very unfortunate. But for me, nothing is too much for peace.
Interesting.
There was something I said I wanted to talk about Fubara. I shouldn't forget that. Fubara and the intervention of Tinubu. I believe Tinubu needs to do something about Fubara. He was the one who called both parties and gave them agreements to sign. Fubara complied. He complied. Wike refused to comply till tomorrow. It's unfair that Wike will get away with everything and Fubara is now being threatened with impeachment. It is unfair. And Tinubu is watching. Why is Tinubu afraid of Wike? What's there to be afraid of? He helped you. Balabata, he gave you some votes. Balabata maybe raised some funds for the party, and so it won't be the first and it won't be the last. Any man who disrespects his own president and his own boss is not worth being protected. Tinubu should be bold enough to tell Wike nothing should happen to Fubara, because he called both of them. He said he should allow those legislators who voluntarily decamped to another party. And the law is clear on it. Once you decamp to another party, you automatically lose your seat. And the president called them, and as Omoluabi, Fubara went. Well, Fubara is not in their party, but he respected the office of the president like we all should do. It's no longer about Tinubu, whether we like him, we don't like him. He's the father of the nation. So I expected Tinubu to call Wike to order. Mr. Wike, but I called both of you. How come one person complied and you are still troubling the man? If you truly love and respect me, leave him alone. You will see that with that, the Wike will stop all this thing that he's doing. He's heating up the polity, and I can predict it. I'm watching it on television, that if they go ahead and impeach that person, we may return to those days when violence erupted. Do you know what President Yar'Adua went through to grant amnesty and do all those things? And now we want to go back to those days because of one man. You have been governor for 8 years. Governor for 8 years. You have been minister. You became governor for 8 years. You are now minister, one of the most important ministries in the land. The day you play God, God will show you now that you are not God.
Will Wike heed Dele's warning, or will he continue down a path that may ultimately lead to his political demise? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.